Hello, welcome back to my channel. It is Quay and I thank you for watching. Before we proceed, make sure you subscribe, like this video if you make it to the end and you enjoy what we're talking about, and comment and let me know, some feedback. I was sitting here today, it's Sunday, I just cooked a delicious Sunday brunch and I was like, I've been in Atlanta for 8 months. So I'm like, let me tell the people about my experience here in Atlanta, coming from New York after 9 years, as well as a little apartment update. Let me go eat real quick and we're gonna get into it. Come on. Today I made kale greens. I did a ginger chili type of vibe for them and they are pretty delicious. Here I'm unveiling my butternut squash mac and cheese. I was just so inspired to make my own. I made a batch yesterday and I literally ate that whole pot worth. So then I made some more today and it's literally pureed butternut squash that I roasted and then pureed with almond milk. I add some seasonings. There's so many recipes online that you can figure out, but you make it like you're doing your mac and cheese, just substituting dairy. I did add a little Parmesan just for a little cheesy vibe, and then I made some ocean perch in the air fryer, seasoned it up with Italian seasonings, and look at this deliciousness. Back, let's get right into this video about my time here in Atlanta, living in Atlanta. So let's start off with the living situation. So I originally came to Atlanta because I knew I just kind of wanted a change in the scenery. I just wanted a different vibe, and I love New York. I always go to LA. Let's go to the South. Things just aligned, and I came here. I arrived here at the end of May, and I knew getting a one-bedroom apartment will be more reasonable as far as space than in New York. And so I found this place after coming here in April. I found my place in May. I found this place, loved it, and the rest has been history. So the living situation here, my apartment is like 750 square feet. It's a very beautiful size, and I like the decor. I'll insert the clip now so you can kind of see the decor, how I decorated it. Super minimal. It's just beautiful. I love my hardwood floors. That's like the first thing that attracted me, especially when I walked in. Just so shiny and just, I love that dark color because I knew I was going to go for like a black, white, ivory, cream type of vibe. And so these floors are perfect for that. The kitchen is like a chef's kitchen, they say. I didn't have an island, and so I had to get this IKEA table, but I just put like my favorite products in, which is public goods. I have a previous haul on that video here. I'm going to do a review actually, since it's been 8 months of me using the products. But yeah, I was able just to decorate this place exactly how I wanted to. No roommates, and it's just all mine. And I want to say, like, this apartment has been perfect for me in these last 8 months. And it's so perfect that I really didn't realize how much time has flown by, because I've been at so much peace here in my apartment. And it's not just because it's Atlanta, it's because of who I've become, while, living here, and the intentions I put into curating my space and into being who I am in my space. And that transcends when, people visit, or, if I'm around people, like just the peace that I've gained while living in this apartment in these last 8 months have been incredible. So peaceful, so spacious, and I technically probably wouldn't have gotten this space. I wouldn't have gotten this space in New York. And so that's the pro. Like, we're gonna just do a little comparison between here and New York, Atlanta and New York. You definitely are getting more for your money, and it's not to say this is a cheap place. It's not. I was paying $800 in New York for my one bedroom, my one bed in that 3-bedroom. But there's so much more, with this price tag that I have now. The cost is definitely way more reasonable, and I have no regrets when it comes to like moving here and to this specific apartment. My area, I love. I didn't even get the chance to visit my area prior to moving here, but that's the power of Google Maps. Like, no one can tell me anything about Google Maps. Go on Google Maps, Google Earth, like it's so updated in advance that you are able to see the neighborhood that you're entering in. I knew I didn't really want to live in Buckhead or the outskirts per se. And so I was able to look at Google Maps and just see what's the vibe around in my spot. And yeah, my spot is a little more gentrified than, you know, what it probably was a few years ago, based off of, you know, the insight that friends or some natives that I know here have told me. And I was stalking the reviews on all platforms of my apartment, of this space, of this area, this neighborhood. I was stalking the reviews of the restaurants in the area in order for me to get a well-rounded opinion and perspective on, should I move here? What is this going to be like? Is this a fit for me? And it definitely turned out it was a 9 out of 10. There's one con to my apartment that I'm not going to mention, but that definitely 9 out of 10 compared to New York. Two, food and hospitality. Now, I'm cut from Portland, Oregon, so we have amazing food. I always grew up, to me, with good food, like private-owned businesses that aren't just food chains. And some of our food chains are just specific, to Portland. So, like, food has always been big for me. And I also cook. I learned how to cook at a very young age, and everyone in my family, from the males to the females, mainly know how to cook. So food is big to me. And then in New York, my palate expanded even more. Atlanta has great food to me. And they have a lot of places, like a lot of cool places. I haven't even tapped all of them, or that many of them, to be honest, in the 8 months I've been here. But the ones I have tried, it has been good. There's been a few like cons, like, okay, that was super overhyped. But I will say the food it doesn't really do it for me. I know there's a lot of people that may disagree, but the food here is not more impressive than the food I've experienced in New York and Portland, to be honest. Where I'm at in my life, it's more healthier. I'm a pescatarian, but I'm like even more plant-based, and I'm just like gluten-free. There's a lot of food options here, like vegan and such, but to me, it's like junk food vegan, like slightly vegan, delicious. I've had it like 3 times. Don't regret it. Very good, but I consider it kind of like a junk food vegan spot. That's like what you indulge in. You know, when you want to have the cheat day, or just want to have fun, or take someone to a conceptual vegan spot and that person may not be vegan yet. It's like a good transition food spot for people who want to take out meat and dairy out of their diet. But it does come with other fillers and things, you know? So for me, it's like a treat. And then I've had some other spots that I kind of feel the same about. But to be honest, it doesn't do it for me entirely here. Hospitality. I came here thinking Southern hospitality was manners and like respectful and familiarity and such. And so when I got here, I'm like understanding what that means exactly. And I think you get that, but I do think customer service, and it could be because of this pandemic era, these last 2 years, like some people are a little more lackadaisy and nonchalant with their positions because they know they're in demand. And so they can kind of show up and, you know, maneuver whatever they want because they are needed technically. And I think that has an impact on customer service in general. Like even in New York, when I was leaving, like customer service was getting kind of wacky, and I'm like, dude, you don't have to be here. But then I know some people do, like, to make money, but it's like, treat me right. Like, I didn't come here for your attitude. Here, I don't really think I get attitudes. Like I said, it's like more nonchalant. Like there was a girl, I always tell this story, but a couple times we ate out. One specific time was off of Edgewood, I think we were. And a girl was taking our order, and she comes up, and she took some time to come to our table. She sits down and starts taking our order. I'm like, girl, you do not sit down at the table when you're taking someone's order. So that threw me off, and it turned me off. And I'm like, ugh. Also, a lot of the spots converted to like hookah and all that. And I don't hookah, I don't drink anymore. But I don't mind, you know, going out to the club or whatever. But I feel like a lot of those places, everybody just wants to open a spot, and the menus are very much the same. Like you're always going to get like a steak and fries or something, wings, obviously, or a chicken and waffle. What else is common? Like a salmon and potato and spinach. Like super, super similar and basic to me. A lot of the menus, and these are from the restaurants I've seen that, you know, have a nice, cute decor and concept, but like it's kind of like, you know, we just want to get into the hospitality too, which I'm not mad at. It is about the vibe that's created, and it does give people variety of not having to go to the same hookah spot or whatever brunch spot. But that just doesn't do it for me. I'm an experimental eater. I like to eat within cultures, different cultures. So food and hospitality, it doesn't do it for me, to be honest, in comparison to New York. That's my opinion. Number 3, which is social life. Now, I think the reason why time flew by for me, OD, living here in the last 8 months, is because I travel a lot. Like, I think in June I was here most of the month. In July and then August I just started traveling for like 2 weeks or more out of each month. I guess I haven't really given myself enough time or space to enhance my social life aside from the people that basically moved here with me. Like a month later, I had 2 of my close friends, like Aisha and Ayana. They moved here, and then I had another friend, associate that I knew that moved here that I've connected with multiple times, and then another one moved in July, and then I had some friends from a friend from high school that attended the HBCU out here that lived here that I was able to connect with. So I technically haven't met new people. Like I've gone to one of my friends, Yora, and so she had these 2 cool events, so I was able to see new faces. But I don't know, going to some of the events or the parties, it's like people are cliquey, like they only vibe with who they vibe with, or maybe I'm more known in New York, within my different social groups and stuff. Not obviously not here, which is why I came here to know people. But from my experience at these events, like people just look like, oh, her, like that type of vibe. The guys are obviously staring in huddles. Everybody just stares in huddles and are cliquey and just stay to themselves. No one really like, hey, how are you? In New York, it's the complete opposite. Like you could go anywhere alone. I think that's how I got comfortable going places alone. I didn't have to, but you could. Like I've partied at One Oak and up and down alone multiple times. You can go to an event alone in New York. Here, it seems weird. Maybe I'll extend my neck a little bit more in this month, February, March. But it's just everybody just stares. They don't just, hey, what's up? What's your name? How are you? And I'm used to that. And it's always easy for me to make connects in New York or like build relationships and just end your day knowing I met 5, 6 new people. Whether I'm on the train and someone's just saying, oh, I like your shoes, and we have a conversation or whatever. Like New York has that factor to it. It doesn't really matter who you are. People are going to assess who you are and the value they bring to your life. Naturally, everybody should be doing that. And then the value that they can bring to your life as well. But here, I haven't experienced that type of situation. And a lot of people are telling me to get a membership at the Gathering spot, in which I will. It does sound like something up my alley. I'm going to get that. But as far as social life, I haven't made any new friends, to be honest, that I didn't already know from New York or back home. So I am going to be working on that for the next few months. But that's something to note. Like, you do got to extend your neck, is what it seems like. And I'm not that mixy. Like I said, I don't drink and I don't smoke, so I don't do those recreational things. I know that's easier for people to do things like that. Dating, haven't done it. Have not done it. I'm more so long distance dating, but I don't get that from here. And it's funny because I didn't really think about that when I first moved here. The spots that I have gone out to, it's a lot of girls. So obviously there's a lot of competition, so to speak. Like, it is what it is. And not that many men. And then so the men, I think they don't think they need to approach anyone, because I feel like the girls kind of handle that. Or if I don't know. I do think it's harder here than anywhere else I've seen or experienced. And that's something to take into consideration if you're moving here, or if you plan on staying here long term. I'm not going to be staying here long term, to be honest. That wasn't the plan, but that's something that you have to consider with moving to Atlanta. Number 4 is safety. I have Ring cameras, and that notifications, those be going off all day. Robbery, package thief, weirdo, gunshots. And obviously, I never had a Ring in New York, so maybe there was some cases where this was happening in New York. And I know there's definitely cases in LA, because the time I spent in LA, my sister, my friends who have them, they do get the notifications and the Citizens app and stuff. It's just wacky times. Like, safety, I think, all around, you gotta be freaking careful, because people are hungry as hell, and they're taking and that's the best way they feel like they can provide for themselves, unfortunately. So we all have to be alert. Here in Atlanta, I do see it's like heavy, and there's like articles about it and stuff. So it's not anything that's out of the ordinary. I guess it is heightened, but it's something to take into consideration, like safety. Like, I don't just go on nighttime scrolls. I could do that in New York, low-key. Overall, I didn't feel as unsafe in New York in comparison to here. And it's just here, you just got to be aware who's following you, or just what's the vibe. Read the room, be aware is what I'm hearing and seeing. Number 5, walkability and scenery. Okay, so this is actually what I don't like about Atlanta is I cannot walk. In New York, we're walkers. We're walkers because it's gonna get you to where you need to be faster, and we just be gone. Like, we're not relying on nobody, not even the Uber or the taxi. Like, we're gonna be out when we need to be out. We're moving. We're moving. Here, oh my God, I spend so much more days inside that crib. Yes, in co-vid, so you have to be, I'm cautious. Like, I don't need to be around people knowing that this place, was a little more loose with regulations and such these last couple years. I just don't want to contract it. I haven't contracted it in these last 2 years, so I feel good about that, and I want to continue to, take care of myself in the ways I need to. So I spend a lot more time in home or in my area, but that's a plus. My area, it's scenic, it's pretty. I have a nice view of downtown, and I'm like in a convenient location. I'm not too far from some of the Beltline entries, so that's how I feel the walker in me is through the Beltline. The Beltline is like a safe haven for me. It's like a godsend for me. And I obviously researched it before I chose the area I chose. Like, I don't know how it came up, and I was like, what is this? And I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly the type of stuff I love. So that's how I ended up like solidifying like where I moved to. But if it wasn't for the Beltline or me being near the Beltline, oh my God, I don't know if I would walk or move. Like, a few days ago, I did like 16,000 steps one day because I knew for 2 days I was not moving. Like, I was just doing work or just in the crib. But without that Beltline, I would be lost, trapped, feeling like, what's that, Snow White or Cinderella, whichever one was stuck in the castle. Like, that's how I would feel if it wasn't for that Beltline. Like, people do not walk here. In my first week, I was walking down like a kind of crazy area because I'm gonna walk somewhere once if it's like under a mile or two, and then I'm going to determine if I'm gonna do it again. And so I did it, and I guess I was risky because like one of the areas I walked in was not just a common thing you do, and I felt it halfway through, and I'm like, I'm already committed. I can't turn around and go back home, and I can't call an Uber because it's not, I'm gonna be sitting here on a corner, waiting for Uber, and it's just not it. So I had to just thug it out, walk fast, get on a FaceTime, and make it to my destination. But you do not walk here. And I did that a few times. It wasn't just one time. I was like, let me do it that direction. Let me go to this direction. Ciao. Wow, I really did that. That's kind of crazy to me. That's crazy. Thank God I work out 5 times. But I don't like that about Atlanta. You cannot walk here. But the scenery is nice. So when you do where I do walk, like, nice houses, and obviously when you get to the Beltline, it's nice because it's curated. Like, the stuff around it is curated so that you can get off the Beltline and go get a drink or shop or eat or whatever, go to the park and just relax. Like, I love the Beltline. Like, I wish I could take the Beltline and plop it in New York. I mean, I guess we kind of have our own Beltlines in New York, so that's not necessary, but I do love that about Atlanta. 6, the weather. The weather is definitely interesting. Right now it's like gray and it was raining today, so I didn't even get to walk today, which I like to do like long walks on Sunday. The weather has been wacky, but I do find myself like, okay, wait, it's 73 degrees right now in December or January, so I don't need a jacket. Like, I don't see nobody else with a jacket, but this kind of, like, I do get those kind of weird confusions because I'm like, do I layer it up or not? It's taking some getting used to. I know it's a little bit of global warming, but I guess it is the South, so they don't experience as crazy cold as I'm used to on the North, whether it's the Northwest or the Northeast. So I guess that's cool. Like, I haven't been shivering. overall, I would say the energy of Atlanta is to be determined. I've been here for 8 months, but I've been kind of in and out, so I haven't really explored fully. Like I've done Stone Mountain, that was cute for hiking and stuff like that, but I do want to explore the outskirts a little more and do some more stuff this winter and spring, so I can determine like if I want to do another year here, excuse me, residentially or not. But I think I made a good decision coming here, because, like I said, of who I've become in the space that I've curated here for the cost that I pay every month. It's reasonable and it's valuable to me. So it was a great decision to move here. I don't plan on staying here for a long time, to be honest. But it does have its pros that I mentioned and some of its cons in comparison to New York, which I feel is the greatest city in the States, period. Definitely do think you need to have a car here to just maneuver better. You also, if you aren't as super plant-based and such like me, then you may enjoy the hospitality, like the food and restaurant options. But they do have other, being that it's the South, they do have like my favorite market that I mentioned, the cow farmers market. That's amazing. That fuels like my food needs and such. So there is a lot. It is a lot to offer. I still feel, and I'm going to experience it some more. But that's pretty much the gist of my 8 months here in Atlanta. Do what I recommended? Sure. Just still have your clear plan of what you're coming here for, and just understanding who you are and what fulfills you is what's important with any move you do. Like, what fulfills you? What is your purpose? What are your goals? Why is this place going to be beneficial to your peace and the things that you want to accomplish externally? But I'm all for first your internal diagnosis and planning, and then it'll make everything else external good. So what is this place going to do for you, and what is the value that it's going to bring to you, if any? And then you determine when you're going to move. But that's pretty much all I have to say about Atlanta for now. Like I said, no regrets as of right now. 8 months in, and it's been cool. It's been what it was, what it is. And thank you for watching my video. Stay tuned for the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Comment if you are here, what you do here. I also do hair. I've done a few heads here, but I haven't done as much because I also didn't feel like I didn't have like a booth set up or anything. I don't want people coming to my crib, but I do hair. I'm really good at it. It's my side hustle. Check out my hair page at Hair with Quay, link below. But yeah, comment if you live here, how you feel about Atlanta so far. I just want to see if I can meet some people here through YouTube. That would be cool. But yeah, comment anything if you have experienced Atlanta, if you live here now, your favorite aspects of it and where you're coming from, and I would love to connect with you all. Until my next video, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful January 2022. More videos on the way. Love you and stay blessed.